You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com.
Welcome. You are not tuned in. Yeah. M-Love. Dusty always told me to keep a small circle. Love thy hater even though they hurt you. Positive vibes, natural highs. So I'm tuned in to live life in the purple. Shout out to M-Love. This is real love. How I know? Cause she always show him love. It's all love, art, and poetry. Tune in, you about to witness history.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You are now well on your way to Purple Vibes, wherever you are listening to us or hearing, seeing us. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, hello, hello. If you are listening to this voice, and two things are definite. What's up, world? It's your girl, M-Love, host of Live Life in the Purple, this fabulous energy that comes to you every Tuesday from 2 to 4 on the IBNXradio.com network. Let me tell you who's in the room. To my left.
Hi, this is Marilyn Pearson. I am the host of the segment Authors Speak, where we learn about authors and their journeys to entrepreneurism. And to my left, I have...
Hey, hello? Hello? Is this on? What's up, man? This your boy, Only One Tippy, associate producer with Live Life in the Purple, every Tuesday from 2 to 4. And to my left, we have...
Rebel Queen, a.k.a. Ty Davis, host of Hope Speaks. My show is all about inspiration, baby. I'm on Team Purple, living life in the purple.
And we do this every...
Positivity.
It's a movement, baby.
We played.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to you South Carolina's own Moody Black.
Yeah. I'm just
Come on, bro.
let's get it. That shit before we drop it on.
It's Moody Black and your sister. I see you got two eyes. Your third ain't looking from upstate. South Cac, I bring it to the A. They heard we dropping knowledge, me and sis be like, hey, hey. But don't get it twisted. Yeah, we from the South, so you know we bringing biscuits. Ain't talking about full time, click, clack, go time. Been in the field, now it's fold down the goal line. Yeah, revolution means change. By any means necessary. Malcolm in his thing, Marcus Garvey in his thing, Martin Luther in his thing. We gotta come together if you wanna make a change. Yeah.
They ain't ready to come together, Moody. Everybody's falling for the day. They try to divide and conquer, and that's exactly what they do. Man, it's like there's no place for compassion when glory lies in savages. A generation entirely educated on alternative facts, and it's a shame we gotta rap, exchanging what you want for what we know you need. Hope floats in my flow like poetry, just so you know it's me, America. You act like you ain't noticing. Poets come in peace, but pardon me, see if we feel the need to speak on. Young blood dripping in the streets is of thee. We are freedom of speech born. Gripping scenes, rewind, here come the police, repeat more. Tragedy, here we go again, R.I.P. boy, America. I know you see what's happening, it's sad to see that mommies and daddies have been distracted systematically, and we've had about enough of that, to be honest with you. And the thing is, we're mommies and daddies now. We stand together. And I'm just telling you about that before we drop it on.
They try to hit us hard, Jack Tatum, now these blacks back in civil like they're playing for the Raiders. They enslaved us and promised us 40 acres. The Alzheimer's what they done. Ronald Reagan put birds in our hands, 2 bushes, I'm saying. The pigs got a skillet and they're making us the bacon like Kevin Footloose. We 100 miles and running it, yet we got an attitude. Uncle said we mad at you. Coming from the motherland, my longitude and latitude got me in a place where I wanna start busting, but I'm tired of the fussing. Got us all cussing. Let's sit and make a plan till we come up with something. Yeah.
That's what we have to do. We have to not act emotionally and think strategically. They will never be ready. Simon says, say what? Hey, take take a look at us. Just two country bumpkins, tons of guns are causing up a ruckus. Finna fussing, fighting, screaming. Till we all have equal peace. You see the pie ain't worth eating if the feeling ain't sweet to me. We just gotta give these folks a little bit of truth. Me and Mr. Black on the track, it's unfamiliar to you.
IBNX.
But this is the new America.
IBNX.
Get used to it. The struggle's so real to give you something you can use through it. If you don't know what to be, don't be the problem. You part of the equation, man. How we gon' solve them? While they divide and conquer, be of service, lend some help. Pray for our nation. Shell can't do it by herself. Whatever you can to be of service, to be in addition to your community. Stand together, side by side. I'm telling you, the solidarity will blow their mind.
Tuesday's our favorite day.
That's right, it is.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if we are, but yeah, this is, everything that we've done today is so apropos. I tell you, everything that I'm saying to you right now is so apropos. The Love Speaks, now is not the time to give up, really resonates for me right this second.
Yes, it does.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday in our world, and I need you to look up and tell me what color is the sky in your world.
Purple.
I hope it's purple, that's right. And if it's purple, then you are tuned in to the most dynamic, the most high vibe energy talk show in the world.
Yes.
It is Team Purple. Our mission today is to bestow upon our listeners the gift of positivity. 2 hours of thought-provoking dialogue, honest commentary, and riveting discussions that relate to issues that are common to today's entrepreneurs and entertainers. We've got it all. We've got industry news. We got inspiration. We got positive news. We got motivation, history, hope, interviews with awesome people. And yes, there will be some poetry somewhere along the line. The two beautiful souls that have joined themselves to us for this journey today, I want you to get to know them. You're going to need to have pen and paper because they're going to say some things that are going to make you want to write it down and look them up. I need you to give some love to Mr. Terry Emeka Thomas. Emeka, thank you, Emeka Thomas. He is everything. It's more than a mouthful. Public speaker, education consultant. Wow, and now he's going to tell us more about his doctoral program that he's involved in Clark Atlanta University, and he's going to just explain to you what makes him so amazing. He's a walking set of encyclopedias that you're going to want to have in your life. Also, we're going to give some love to Miss Vanessa Anderson Abram.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you? Vanessa, it came to us. I love when we get referrals because awesome people beget awesome people. So thank you to Yvonne Pierre for introducing us to Vanessa from Gary, Indiana.
Yes.
That's right, MJ Land.
Yes.
And so she is a Amazon award-winning author for Self-Discovery, a daily journal, daily inspiration book. Also, a Valley of the Transfiguration, 40 Days with God in My Grief. I'm really interested about that. We had a great, you got to know all the things that she's involved in, all the wonderful things that she's doing in the community to make her world just a little bit better. So all of that, they have come here with us to give you, wrapped up in a nice gift, packaged, kissed on it with love, and we're sending it out to you from wherever you're listening to us. So you've got a few moments still to tell people, to tell a friend, tag a friend that positivity is in your ear. You can watch us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and look for IBNX/live, and you will see all this beautiful energy. If you want to listen by phone, if you got to leave your computer for a while and you want to stay connected to us, just dial 678-648-IBNX. That's 4269, and we will magically appear in your ears. If you're at your computer at work and you can put us on in a little corner so you can stream and watch it. Also, you can go to the IBNXradio.com/AtlantaNX and you can stream there as well. So many ways to be engaged with us. The show is made up of segments. So we're going to start with Love Speaks. That is me talking to you from my heart about what's been on my mind. In addition, as I think about you, our audience, so we're going to talk about now is not the time to give up. It's geared to entrepreneurialism. It's geared to life, period. So y'all stay tuned. This is IBNX Radio Network.com, innovatively broadcasting new experiences. And this is Live Life in the Purple. We're taking a quick break and coming back with Love Speaks. It has been said that there's a time for everything under the sun. Well, right now,
sit back and relax, because it's time for Love Speaks with M. Love.
Hello. Now is not the time to give up. Now is not the time to give up. This came to me because, most everyone that I know and that I deal with, that I talk to on the regular, that have access to me are entrepreneurs. And being such, it means that they are going to go through a lot more sometimes than the average person. Sometimes they're trying to find their dream and they're working a day job. And they are working on their dreams in the evenings, in the wee hours of the morning. And they have this voice that speaks to them that is relentless, and it won't let them go. Some of them discovered it early in life, some discovered it later in life, but the point is that they are on a mission to do something. And so this is what I'm going through. We recently made the jump and for a little bit and took a break from working for someone else to pursue my dream. And so I totally get that. I totally understand. It gets so hard sometimes. So I focused my energy and started looking around for information that I could bring to help you. No matter whether you're you are an entrepreneur, you're an indie artist, whether you are in the business of trying to get discovered as an actor or an actress, this show is for you. This Love Speaks is for you. To be successful, we will have to take ourselves where we've never been before. You're going to have to do what you formerly thought or said was impossible for you to do. If what you're aiming for is your passion, not just a hobby or something you like to do. I'd like to do this. No, we're talking about people who have a passion, a calling for what it is that they're setting out to do. We're going to talk about a lot of quotes that we're going to help you along the way to understanding why you shouldn't give up. There's a quote by Sylvester Stallone that was important to me. He said, whenever you're afraid of something, do it. If you're not afraid of it, don't do it. This is going to require you to stretch yourself and take yourself, as I said, in places you've never thought you could go before. There's a quote from a movie that I watched last night. I don't watch TV on the regular, but I have insomnia, so I was up and I hit Netflix, and I watched a movie that was about Ray Kroc, founder of the McDonald's chain. Everybody knows about McDonald's, but he himself, to get himself to where he got, it took persistence. This man lived and breathed people who were positive, and he put an album on, and he just listened to it all night long. And this particular quote was done by Calvin Coolidge, but Ray Kroc made it famous, and it says, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful individuals with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." Calvin Coolidge said it first. Ray Kroc made it famous. And so that was on my mind this morning when I woke up, the persistence. You're going to have to persist at whatever it is you're aiming for. I was that kind of kid that was fascinated with the question, why? I would always ask it, why? Why, Mom? Why this? Why that? And I would sit for hours and just think about something that I didn't know the answer to, that I wanted to. To some degree, I'm still like that. For instance, I love reading biographies of successful people. And you know what I've been able to learn by just reading biographies? I've learned two things that pops up. Number one, success is not magic. There's a time element to this process. And number two, most people quit right before they succeed, primarily because of unrealistic expectations or no clear vision of what it is they're aiming for. We will have to push. We will have to stretch. We will have to grow time and time and again. You're going to ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this worth it? Dr. Wayne Dyer said, don't die with your music still inside of you. Don't die with your music still inside of you. So you're going to have to keep pushing for it. I love that quote because the dream, the vision, the notion, or whatever you call it, was given to you and only to you. It resonates you for an unknown reason, and it was put deep inside of you where treasures are often buried, waiting to see if you're going to accept the call and excavate to release the power of that dream. So what is this going to take? Resilience. Resilience is a Latin word that really means to spring back or rebound. But the definition says that it's the power or ability to return to the original form or position after being bent, compressed, or stretched. It has carries the meaning of elasticity. So will you bounce back from things and get back on track when things knock you off? So I had a few short stories about some famous people that you may have heard of. Maybe you've seen them in movies, maybe you use their products or whatever, but you were not fully aware of their struggle to reach their goal. And you may identify with them if they're in your industry or whatever you're striving for. But let's see what we can learn from this. First one, do you have some affliction that will hold you back? Do you have a lisp or something that you think that I can't speak, I can't do this, I just want to live in obscurity, I'm just going to get my job, I know what I'm doing, I can't be famous? Well, this person was ridiculed mercilessly as a child for having a severe stutter. He refused to speak for 8 years to avoid torment. He worked as a janitor and carpenter before landing his first acting role. Now he's an Academy Award winner and one of the most recognized voices in the world. I'm talking about James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader and CNN voiceovers. Wow. What if he'd given up? What if he had accepted obscurity? He'd have been a great provider for his family, but he would not be the James Earl Jones that we know today. This guy spent years in a cycle of arrest, jail, rehab, relapse. In Hollywood, said he was unhireable, but he battled back, sold himself as a superhero, and became one of the highest grossing actors in movie history. I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr. This guy, at 25, had $7 to his name. And when his dream of playing pro football died, $7 to his name, he fought depression and crushing blows. So he came back and sold himself as a wrestling icon and then as a Hollywood action hero with movies grossing billions. And he does it with a smile. I'm talking about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. This woman found herself on welfare at 28. It took her 6 years and countless rejections to get her first story published. She has sold over 400 million books on her way to becoming a billionaire. I'm talking about J.R. Rowling, author. This man had a persistent stutter as a child, made him a target for ridicule. He got expelled from school after being convicted of a felony. Spent 15 years in obscurity doing local theater. Alcohol and cocaine addictions and other addictions affected his ability to get bigger roles. He got cleaned up after his 8-year-old found him unconscious. Now he got his big break at 43. 43, so if you're 23, all right, are you ready to hang in there? This man got his break at 43. Now he's the second highest grossing actor in history, Mr. Samuel Jackson. Sometimes you have to kick the stool out from under your feet, create a sense of urgency for yourself. Let go of something that you've been holding on that is a cushion. George Clooney said, if I have something to fall back on, you know what I'll do? I'll fall back. A few months before getting his big break, Eminem was washing dishes at a lodge to support his infant daughter. All of this was, I find all of these examples because I don't know where in life you are, but I know you're going somewhere. I know you've got something inside of you that is begging for release. I know you've been working years on something. Up nights, can't sleep, shaping it, going back to zero, starting again. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Now is not the time to give up. We're waiting for you. The next great author, the next great inventor, the next great #1 top-selling song in the world probably have sat at this microphone. They all have one thing in common. They have a dream. They have a goal. And as I said in the beginning, we here at Live Life in the Purple, IBNX, are your cheerleaders and your fans. We want you to succeed, but to succeed, you got to stay in the game, okay? We're coming back. We've assembled a team of some of the finest minds in Atlanta, Georgia. They're waiting to give you their opinion and sound off on this because this is what we're doing daily. This is what we do, okay? So we love you. We thank you. And remember, the two most important requirements for major success are first, being in the right place at the right time, and second, doing something about it. We're out. We're taking a quick pause for the cause, and we'll be right back. This is M Love, Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. All right, folk.
Hello, my Purple Nation. Live Life in the Purple is pleased to announce its new sponsor, We are now supported by Purple Door Creations. Purple Door Creations is an incubator for creatives. 5 brands under one roof. Purple Door Creations, making the world beautiful, one dream at a time. Today is a good day to believe in yourself.
Plan your next occasion with Four Marie's Catering and Events. With their team of 4 beautiful hostess, Four Marie's focuses on excellent service, delicious food, and lasting memories. Let Four Marie's make your next occasion memorable without all the stress. Before you plan your next occasion, give Four Marie's a call. No occasion is too big or too small. Use promo code IBNX10 for 10% off your first event. Call 404-474-2600 or visit 4mcatering.com today.
Thank you for tuning in to the IBNXradio.com network. Stay tuned for more positive programming with M Love and Team Purple on Live Life in the Purple. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Yes, we are so excited to be in your ear, and thank you for choosing positivity as your 2-hour ride to wherever you got to go, or sailing through work or whatever. This is what we do every Tuesday on the IBNXradio.com network. Shows throughout the week. But it's our turn in the big chair.
Is.
And if I had room, I'd spin around and going, wee, it's our turn.
Yes,
So we were talking about, if you're just joining us, we just had the Love Speaks. And what's up to all those who are joining us on Facebook Live and those who are on YouTube. If you have to disconnect and you can take us with you, it's IBNX Radio/live. And we will be in your ear, in your face. So we were talking about now is not time to give up. And as I said, it can get really, really hard. That movie, watching last night about Ray Kroc, the self-proclaimed founder of McDonald's, taught me a lot. It just reminded me of a lot. And I saw this guy depicting of how he went all over the place with a machine in his trunk, a milkshake machine, trying to sell it, getting rejected. After rejection, you got a wife back home. You know, you're on the road, and he kept hearing no, people slamming the door in his face. And he would go to these hotel rooms at night and put on albums of inspirational people, probably like Zig Ziglar and those like that. And he would listen to that stuff over and over again about persistent, and he wouldn't give up. And I thought I would have gotten a job somewhere along the line in one of those hotels and gave up, you know. But because he didn't, he stumbled across this great company, the McDonald Brothers, and saw vision where they had none. He had vision.
He had vision. That's right.
And that's so hard, you know. And it was controversial as to how he got control of things, but he was a true salesperson, and he could not give up. You cannot approach this thing mealy mouth.
I think that vision you're talking about is that relentless voice that you, as an entrepreneur, continue to hear. It's like we can't ignore it. I know I heard it very softly, but it started screaming at me when I got into my late 40s, and I have been on the pursuit of doing whatever that voice said. It is a relentless voice. I like that you said that, but it does take resilience. I like the definition you said, too, where it comes from, that when you've been bent, compressed, and stressed, which is probably in the past 12 hours that has happened to all of us, and we're still here. We bounced back. Whatever it is, we're still here.
We're still here.
Moving.
You know, and this, you know, I forgot because it got a little wonky in the beginning, but that was Marilyn Pierce.
Aww.
I forgot to introduce you guys.
We were introduced. There was something that introduced
Okay,
us.
awesome.
Yeah.
Rebel Queen, what say you?
Well, you know, I was just thinking sometimes, you know, you ever been in a situation where you're going through some things and then people are like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. And you've been through worse sometimes, right? If you ever step back and just assess where you are, how bad is it really, and have I been through worse? And I think sometimes people don't realize that when you go through trouble comes in stages. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. So folks are like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm like, I know I'm on the tail end, so I'm so focused. You know, and I think staying focused is really what gets you through not giving up. If you know that you're right there.
And it gets, it's like an all-out spiritual kind of warfare when you're right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got to decide. It's like you've got to decide what can you take off to make the journey a little lighter. There's something you're carrying,
and you find that you're
go.
willing to give some things up. That you've been carrying some things along with you, and right now, either you let those things go or you sink. So you got to give them up, right? If you don't want to sink. And so it's really, it's like a purging. It's like a shedding process. We kind of grow and evolve. And I think this is just a part of that evolution, And I used to hate when people said this to me, but they always say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I know. It's not easy to take when you're being the one
of
killed.
it.
Yeah. Right. As I said to you, we've got some amazing minds in the room, and I'm going to start on the end there because our first interview is going to be Vanessa, so if we've got a minute or so till break. Mr. Terry Emeka Thomas, how are you today?
I'm fantastic.
Wow, step up to the mic, and if you had a quick response about now is not the time to give up. Have you, as an entrepreneur, had that experience of your journey of wanting to give up and then persisting?
Well, I came into what I was doing as a student artist in '75.
Oh, wow.
Freshman at Morris Brown College. And that was during the funk era.
Oh, okay.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, George Clinton, weed, all kinds,
That was a good era.
And so where was the adversity? I'm waiting for the adversity part, right? Like, where's the trouble?
Earth, Wind, and Fire, weed.
I mean, what I'm saying is too much. And I had to leave school and go back home and work in the fields again and realize that, after working in the fields for about 4 weeks, I said, well, let me get my paperwork together.
I know. This is not the train I want to be on.
So
come from Morris Brown to the field. Yeah.
Well, I grew up picking cotton.
Wow.
So my ticket out was college, music. I played the sax and trumpet. So getting up there and going, wow, with the 70s, it's like, I hadn't planned on that, but I had to decide, I said, I left with a 1.8.
Wow, so you struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came back. Before I came back, I just said, if there's a God, let him help me now.
Wow.
And upon that, I came and was focused.
Awesome.
And I started writing for the school newspaper. I even wrote an article called Priority during homecoming. I mean, that's how serious I was,
Wow.
And when I came out, I was honors graduate.
So you persisted.
And persistent.
There you go.
That's right.
We're going to take a
That's right.
brief pause for the cause, and I'm going to introduce our first guest, and we're going to get her reaction to the Love Speaks, and then get into why she's here. I appreciate you so much for hanging in with us. This is Live Life in Purple. This is your Team Purple, Team IBNX, powered by, and we'll be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Yo Sister. I live life in the purple with M Love and Team Purple on IBNXradio.com network. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Find my way. I met a fork in the road. No right or wrong way to go. I only know what I know. Gotta keep moving. Mama's tears say to go right. moving. What lies ahead in front of me? Can't be afraid of the mystery. I gotta do this for me. Oh, gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving. Find my way, find my way. I will find my way, find my way. I will find my way, find my way. I will find my way. I will find my way. I have to learn for myself. Yes, there's no excuse not to know what to do. Oh, I'm on my own. Your love is a stepping stone. I've got to find my way. I've got to find my way. My way. My way. Gotta keep moving.
Live life in the purple on the IBNXradio.com network. It's our time. We are in your ear. Riding along with me is Rebel Queen, Marilyn Pierce. We're missing a couple of team members today. Shout out to only one Tippy. And we've got more for you coming up. This has been an amazing, amazing show so far. We've been talking about persistence, and I want to continue that really quick as I also introduce to you our guest today, Miss Vanessa
Abrams. I just met her, but I'm already enthused because she just has that about her, and she's got a lot of things going on with you, Miss Vanessa.
Yes.
But before we get into that, please speak to us a little bit about persistence. Did that conversation resonate with you at all?
It does. Actually, it does. And it's something that you mentioned, that term persistence. Just coming back from South Carolina for a 2-day empowerment conference where I was a keynote speaker, that was one of the words that I left them with, being consistent and persistent. You have to persist every day. I told them every day, and this is something that I do myself, every day you do something that is geared toward your purpose. Whether you are looking something up, whether you're researching, whether you're making a call, whether you're putting something together, whatever it is, every day do something that is gained toward your purpose. And then as you do that, things will begin to open up, and then before you know it, God will he will have opened doors that no man can shut. So persistence, it really is, and that's something that I have to do, and even my family will tell you that I'm a workaholic as it relates to self-discovery, A Daily Journey with Vanessa, LLC. You have to persist because, as you said, it's going to be obstacles. It's going to be times that I want to quit. I get doors shut in my face, but when one door shuts, God will open up another door, so I have to keep pushing and keep it moving. In Jesus' name, not in Vanessa's. But I have to remind people that and remind myself that.
What is your morning routine to stay razor sharp focused like that?
My morning routine is I have a calendar. I have my actual physical calendar, then I use the calendar in my phone, and I just keep everything abreast in the calendars, as well as me asking God to order my steps for the day.
Yeah, but what do you do when you open your eyes? What's the first thing?
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Very good.
Thank you, Lord.
Of gratitude.
Gratitude.
Thank you, Father, for another day.
Yeah.
And
I became aware of that. Marilyn turned me on to, you had actually a journal of things you were grateful for, and then since I met her a couple of years now, and then it's just starting to come to me, more successful books I read about people, and they all focus on that morning routine, and first thing is gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Because you'll forget. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get complacent.
Before you put your feet out on the floor.
It's so easy to worry about problems instead of you flipping it around, because we can always be worse off, right?
Right.
We can always be worse off than where we are, because there's always somebody that is. But if we wake up with the gratitude and the attitude of thanks, and that'll keep the perspective, okay, let's do what we're supposed to do today. We may have obstacles, in which the obstacles come, as the young lady said over there, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger.
And sometimes it's right outside your bedroom door. If you make it that far, a little further, it's right outside your home door. Or for me, which I became aware of after listening to Dean Graziosi, I think. Graziosi, and he talks about delaying when you get to this phone, putting it on airplane mode for the night, and because I'll sleep with it or somewhere near me, and social media has a negative word for you. You can count on it. Yes. You can make your rent if you put bets on it that the first thing you're going to see is something negative. Mm-hmm. So getting yourself focused. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Which is a great lead-in to talk to you about. You're going to come back on the show. I want to say that because you've got an amazing book that you're going to be on Author Speak to talk to Marilyn about.
Looking forward to it.
So am I.
There's just too much Vanessa to do in one show.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't expect anything
It's enough
less.
to spread around.
Yes. Yes. Be like hot butter. Anyway.
Not hot butter. You made me think of a roll.
This is somebody who hasn't eaten yet for the day, so it's going to show through. So please, you got so many. You are a Toastmaster. You're in the room with, I don't know how many other people has been. I've been in Toastmasters. Were you in Toastmasters?
Of course.
What about you?
No.
Oh, Ty, you got to join Toastmasters.
I don't need it.
She's gotten it from another way. So, wow. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I said you got a beautiful family. So let's start there. Tell us a little bit about the beginnings of Vanessa.
Well, I am originally from Gary, Indiana, native from Gary, Indiana. Then from Gary, I went to Indianapolis, Indiana. We lived there for, I think, 16 years, where we had a son there. So I have 3 children. 29 is the oldest, Brianna, 24 is Anthony Jr., and 20 is, I always say, my baby, Devontre, which he's in college. And we moved. That's where he was born, in Indianapolis. There for 16 years, had a lot of great experience and education through that time, and then also some pain as well. When I was there, that's when my mother passed away, and then life began to shift for me. And then moved here, relocated here with my job. My job relocated me here. But when I got here is when God began to deal with me about just what you're talking about, persistence and then purpose. When he began to tell me what is my purpose and what not is my purpose, he began to show me my gifts and my talents. He began to show me how to utilize them and to how not utilize them, because corporate world can use you up until you're not appreciated, you're not celebrated, you're not walking in your call.
And it's funny, just to interrupt for a second, how it starts as early as elementary school, the directing us into, not for working for yourself, but for working for someone else. And not, where I'm from, the dream of being an employer wasn't even in my scope. Mm-hmm. So you had to become aware that there's something else that you should be doing. Was it a series of events? Was it conversations? What was that development?
And actually, it was a series of events. And the event was, and this is so powerful, I've learned that there's purpose in pain. In the pain is where God dealt with me. Yeah, and that's all over. That's all over me. That will be on any and every platform that I speak on.
Pain is life's greatest teacher.
Pain is life's greatest teacher. And I didn't know that for many, many years up until maybe the last 12 months when I had to deal with some things that we'll talk about. But I didn't know that. I was constantly in pain, and did not know what is going on.
Self-inflicted?
Some of it's self-inflicted, but didn't know how to deal with it. I would want to medicate it with things. And back then, whether that was drugs, whether that was drinking, whether that was just trying to escape, I didn't know. I did not know. And, up until my 30s, God began to show me things as well. When my mom passed in 2010, God began to show me things. He began to show me that there is purpose in the pain. And he also said to me, and he said that some things must die in our life in order to live, or in order for that thing or that purpose or that thing to be birthed and born. And so I'm learning that.
It's amazing how if we study, if we're thinkers, if we slow down life, because life is not going to slow down, you got to slow it down for you, and study nature, you'll see that. You see a lot of things in our lives reflected in nature, in the fact that something has to break through in order for something to be birthed.
That's it.
We're going to continue talking with Vanessa as well as other things that we've got in store for you on deck, but we're taking a quick moment for a commercial and just some station identification, and we're coming back more with Vanessa Abrams.
If you're not listening to Word of Mind Radio, then you're seriously missing out. Hosts Trey Grizzy and Nine Ether share their perspectives on everything from social issues that affect our communities to relationships and trends that affect us all, guaranteed to teach you something new. Word of Mind is engaging.
The only way that we can do this is do it together. So I love you.
We all love you.
Empowering.
Somebody dropped the ball somewhere because we want our kids to forget the struggles that we went through, but the struggles that we went through is what got us to where we are now.
And definitely entertaining.
She probably got one of them wholesome names like Gertrude, but back in the day they called her Gertie. They called her
Dirty Gertie.
Dirty Gertie. Flirty Gertie. You know what I mean?
Oh, y'all are horrible.
Yeah.
Tune in and learn up every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on IBNX Radio.
You're listening to IBNX. IBNXradio.com.
Hi, this is Robbie Riegel, and you're listening to And Love and Live Life in the Purple. Positivity is a movement, baby.
Alrighty, IBNXradio.com, innovatively broadcasting new experience. They're broadcasting right now, Live Life in the Purple with your girl, M. Love. And we're here talking with one of our guests today, our very first guest, Vanessa Abrams, from Gary, Indiana. And she's a phenomenal woman, one of these ones my favorite person wrote about, Maya Angelou. And she is using her pain to create such beauty all around her. First of all, in the work in co-creating a beautiful family and co-creating a beautiful life for yourself despite the pain and grief
that we kind of get as a gumbo, and we learn how to wear our wounds so beautifully. We have 2 of your books on display here, Self-Discovery, A Daily Journey Position to Prosper Journal. And this one is The Valley of Transfiguration. Which one is first? Which book came first?
These 2 came.
These 2 came first.
That's the guide to go with the journal.
Okay. Wow. It's a course. It's a course
It's a guide
for
to go
self-discovery. So let's talk about the Valley of Transfiguration, 40 Days with God in My Grief. I'm going to hold that up for the camera. Hopefully you can see that. First of all, pain, positioning, and purpose.
That book was birthed out of the pain from the tragic death of my brother. And my brother was here for maybe a year or so, was living with someone, and he took his life.
Okay.
And unfortunately, God dealt with me with that, and he said, I need you to write a book about grief and have 40 days in it. So it begins with from the phone call up until I came out of the valley. I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey as I speak today, but I am not in the dark anymore.
And how long ago was this?
This was 12 months ago.
12
so
months
it's
ago.
very, very fresh. Very
so you got
fresh.
a book out in 12 months within, wow.
And actually all of the books, all of them are bestsellers, and all of this was within a year. So again, that's why I say there's purpose in pain, and this was the most painful thing that I've ever dealt with in my life, simply because he and I were very close, and it's surreal because it hit my home.
I know. Yeah.
You know, you see it on TV.
Right.
You see it hit somebody else's home, but you like, oh, it can't. Not can't, but but it hit me. And in hitting me, you know, he was a veteran. He went to Saudi to fight. And my promise to him and to God is to allow his legacy to continue to live. His life nor death will be in vain. You know, talk about the mental illness and the stigma with veterans. Veterans kill themselves. I think, don't quote me on this, every 14 minutes, a veteran is, committing suicide. And, I just want to be a voice for the voiceless and stop the stigma around suicide and depression and mental illness.
I was looking up some information, and I noticed that, and please correct me, the phraseology is now they're saying better to say death by suicide. And that phrase, from what I read, is supposed to help you to understand that just like you die by cancer or whatever, that was a tool, that this was a disease. This was, instead of saying they say death by suicide, it has more impact. And the more I think about that, the more I agree with that.
I do too.
Thank you for bringing up the stigma. We both connected with that on our first conversation with suicide. I deal with it and family and on a daily almost. The thing that, and maybe this is true for you, you're talking about dealing with pain. I could not get through my head after a loved one died why everybody else was smiling around me. Like you would leave the facility or leave the hospital or whatever, and then you hear a conversation across the parking lot and someone is laughing, and you're in this fog of pain and hurt that you can barely move, and somebody is laughing, and it hit me because it was like life goes on. This is not fair. Like, I want everybody to know, hey, I'm suffering over here, but life goes on. And so it seems like you're by yourself with that. Did you have any other siblings to help you through that or to get you direction on what to do next?
Honestly, my siblings, everyone grieves differently. Of course, they knew that he and I had a special relationship. I'm the youngest out of 5, so they call me their baby sister, quote unquote. So I had my oldest brother come down last year and spend Thanksgiving with me because they know I was struggling. But to your question, I do, and I say, Lord, why am I the only one that's still stuck? Why have I been diagnosed with PTSD after this? And it seems like my other siblings' lives, they're going on, but I'm still here. But, and he told me, he gave me an answer, simply because this was my assignment. I will get through it, but yet as I get through it, continue to pour and serve into other people, and then he will continue to heal me as I serve.
That is such a true statement.
And another thing, he continues to tell me, and that I will not allow anybody to make shorter, is grief has no timetable. There's no timetable for grief. So we just take it one day at a time, and that's all that I can do.
Yes, ma'am. You've got an event that we want our audience to be well aware of. Tell us about it. I'm going to hold it up for the camera as well as for YouTube.
It is about honoring our fallen soldier, U.S. Army veteran, Sergeant First Class Randolph Davison Jr. Sunday, November 12, 2017, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets are $25. Norcross Cultural, it will be at Norcross Cultural Arts Ballroom, and that's 10th and College Street in Norcross, Georgia. Portion of the proceeds will go to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I also want you to know that I have 3 speakers that are sponsored, that sponsored themselves into this event will be coming to speak, and actually female veterans that will be speaking on mental illness. There will be vendors there. There will be light refreshments. So please come out if you know anyone that is suffering from mental illness. And it's just not about veterans. It's also about civilians, people such as myself. Please come out and support. And again, the $25 portion of this will be going to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, where I, too, am on the junior board for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
Wow. Thank you so much. That overwhelming task. But I feel that you are built for it. Mm-hmm. You're built strong for it. And
I'm glad you see that.
Yes, I do. I do see it. I feel it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so where can we get this?
You can, they can get it from me. People can get it from me. You can go on my website, www.vanessaabram.com, and you can fill out a form, pay for it online, and I will send you a signed book, and you can also get it on Amazon.com.
Okay. So you guys see The Valley of Transfiguration, 40 Days with God in My Grief. She wrote this right after and during her grieving process. So you should be able to feel the emotion, the tear-stained pages, figuratively and probably literally as well.
Yes.
But out of that pain will come beauty, and you will see results from it. And so definitely Sunday, November the 12th, you can reach out to Vanessa. And also social media.
Yes.
Can I hit you? What's your social media?
Social media for Facebook is it on the back of there?
Let's see, self-discovery. A daily journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can reach out to Vanessa on Facebook at self-discovery.a daily journey. Our Twitter, Vanessa Abram, and Vanessa is with an E, not an A, VENESSA, Abram, as well as Instagram, Vanessa Abram 7. So if you want to sew into her cause, it's coming up Sunday, November the 12th, and get your tickets and support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I think we actually had a coordinator on the show not long ago. So yeah, this is very heavy, and that's why I'm stuttering with it, because it's a very heavy subject and it's close to home. But we've got more for you. We're nearing our 3 o'clock hour, so we're at the half mark, and we've still got more for you. We've got positive news. We've got History Speaks, announcements, and we've still got Mr. Terry Emeka, our cultural historian, in the room. So y'all hang tight. Tell a friend, tag a friend that it's still not too late to take a part in this beautiful conversation. And your team will take a short break, and we'll be right back with you. Wow.
The sun is set and there's fire in the sky. Time to make a move. I see the silhouette, don't know if you see it yet. Oh, come run away. And every little thing you say, you're on my dime. Take your time, you are mine. This is a dangerous game for two, and it ain't worth losing you. I gotta play it alone, it's not for two, so I choose. This is a dangerous game. Oh, this is a dangerous game. You pushed away, so I held back all my fears. Tell me what's the deal? I changed the way that I think, but all you seem to hear it clear. Maybe this isn't it. You and I are meant to be. So stop wasting my time. You don't have to be with me. Push it till I fade away.
You're always so confused about when you love and not that you love. Sometimes it's better to have loved than have lost than to have never loved at all. Farewell, my love. Things aren't always what they seem. Dangerous game.
Hey, this is Melissa Carter, author, speaker, and Atlanta radio personality, and you are listening to M Love on the Live Life in the Purple show on the IBNX radio network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Welcome to Positive News, a place to hear the news that brings a smile, focuses on accomplishments, and sheds light on positivity in our world. Therapy dogs comfort Las Vegas survivors. Today.com reports that for many who are scarred by seeing the carnage inflicted in the Las Vegas mass shooting, a little comfort came, courtesy of man's best friend. 19 trained golden retrievers from across the country padded their way to Las Vegas this week, courtesy of Lutheran Church Charities, to provide comfort for those affected by the attack, which left 59 dead and more than 500 wounded, and thousands of families and friends emotionally devastated. But even those who survived the carnage at the Route 91 Harvest Festival without physical wounds desperately needed that nuzzle, like Sunrise Hospital Director of Guest Services, Tracy Szymanski. I came straight to the hospital from the venue at 10:30 at night, still wearing my concert clothes, because I knew there were things I could do to help the families, Szymanski told Today. It was a sigh of relief when the first dogs arrived Monday morning, because I knew the cavalry had arrived. The Comfort Dogs, along with their 30 human handlers, are part of the Lutheran Church Charities Canine Comfort Dogs unit. Veterans used to having their paws on the ground after disasters, natural or otherwise. The unit's canine caregivers brought survivors some solace after the Sandy Hook shootings, and more recently provided comfort to parts of Texas and Florida hit hardest by Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. And even amidst all the horror of the Las Vegas shooting, it's amazing to see how quickly these four-legged pros can spread smiles. Dogs are non-judgmental. They don't take notes and are comfortable to talk to, said Hetzner, who oversaw the Las Vegas mission. A key part of healing in any crisis or disaster is to be able to talk about the trauma, and people find it easier to do that with dogs. Besides working with survivors and grieving families, the Comfort Dogs visited a high school where several students were injured in the shooting, hotel workers helping victims' families, and traumatized first responders. They have also visited the coroner's office, both to support victims' loved ones and staffers waiting in such overwhelming grief. It's extremely emotional work for the dogs. They have an ability to tell when someone is suffering, so after working with them for a few hours, we take their service vest off, pull out a ball, and let them run around and be dogs for an hour, said Herstner. These are golden retrievers. They like to retrieve. That's how they work off their stress. The current team is being flown out Friday to be replaced by a new rested crop that will stay through the beginning of next week. New Jersey man finds $24 million winning lottery ticket in an old shirt. Time.com reports a New Jersey man discovered he won a $24.1 million New York lottery jackpot after finding the lucky ticket in an old shirt just days before it expired. Jimmy Smith, 68, was prompted to check his shirt pocket in May after seeing a TV report about how time was running out for the winner to claim the lottery prize. In Smith's shirt was the winning ticket, among a pile of other tickets he had not checked. I stood there for a minute thinking, do I see what I think I see? Smith stated, I had to stick my head out the window and breathe some fresh air. I was in serious doubt. I really had to convince myself this was real. Smith said he has bought lottery tickets in New York and New Jersey since the 1960s, but he does not always bother to check if they win. I always told myself, I'll check them when I have the time, he said. We hope that you enjoyed positive news and that the stories put a smile on your face. We here at Live Life in the Purple encourage you to be inspired to create your own positive news in the world. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Come join the IBNX team this Saturday, October 21st at the Georgia Spartans annual Learn to Live Wellness Expo at Daniels Middle School, which is located at 2900 Scott Road in Marietta, Georgia. For more information, you can email them at georgiaspartans@gmail.com. This game here is a celebrity basketball game, and it's done in partnership with U Media, and it's co-sponsored by IBNX Radio. Love.
Thank you so much for that, Ty. Wow, I feel like we're on a real
basketball.
news.
We're going to go to a basketball game.
I know, yeah.
IBNX at a basketball game.
I get to relive my youth.
You know, that's true. You played basketball as a youth. Mm-hmm.
Well, years ago, no. I just want to tell you guys, I had an amazing week last week. I was out in the community quite a lot, and of course supporting poetry, and because that's part of my therapy, and because poets are great. But also Friday night I went to see the premiere, the Black Friday 2, the film, which was done by Rick Mathis. Rick Mathis is local to Atlanta. He used to be a poet named Universal, but he quit doing poetry to go make films, particularly about the financial impact that the black community has on the world if they will wake up and unify. And so the film, they went to Spain, Ghana, South Africa, even locally here in Little Five Points, and then the West End, and just talked to different people. So many celebrities, David Banner, just so many things, and we were great. We were in-house for the premiering of that, and I learned so much and met some great people. So if you want to view and support Rick, go to film Black Friday, and you can see the film. You can actually probably look at it online or buy the DVD and support what he's doing. It was amazing, the Living Legacy World Tour, and tracing the money all the way back to Wall Street. I learned so much that I had either forgotten or just wasn't fully aware of. Following the trillions of dollars that leave the black community each year, in a world, in a society where people are more concerned with how much things cost on their body versus where the power that their dollar has. And so that's what this film was about. I'm very proud of Rick and what he was able to pull together and do. Also, the announcement that there is a new museum under construction that's going to be in North Carolina. It's called the Black Entrepreneur Museum. So it's tracing and
I love
highlighting
that.
the black entrepreneurs that has founded this country. Because, and the point was, if nobody's going to do it for you, we got to do it for ourselves. So that's in connection with the Dudley, the Bronner Brothers and Dudley Corporation. So all the products that our mom used to use, hair grease, all that stuff, Dudley, yeah, them. So yeah. Also, I want to let you be aware that I'll be out doing my poetry this Friday at the exclusive Cigar Lounge, 2439 Memorial Drive in Atlanta. Doors open at 7 p.m. The show starts at 8. So that's Friday, October 20th, for Gents and Jewels. I was invited by Vitamin D, a local poet, and
you are the feature.
Well, one of three.
One of three features.
My girl,
yes.
Siobhan Toombs, and also Bright Sun, and myself. The energy is going to be very, very nice. It's an open mic, but then these features, and all of us kind of work together in setting this mood. Bright Sun it's like the unclaimed Marley child. You know, he sits there with these long dreads, and he sings the most beautiful, beautiful music. And Siobhan with her self-love, poetry, and then, you know, the Love style. So I get to do that.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great event. Friday night.
Also, just want to let you guys know that this is IBNX is community radio. We're here for you. So whether you're an artist, indie artist, or whether you have a local business that you're selling products locally, or you have something that is online that anybody in the world can utilize your projects, your products, we are here for you to help you with advertising and help you get the word out. We need your commercials, and you need us with publicity. So, you know, you can hit your girl up, M Love, to tell me more about what your needs are, and I can get a package out to you, some information. We have artist-specific package, and everything is completely customizable because we, as I said, we are your cheerleaders, and we want you to succeed. So we want to get the word out about your event, about your music, whatever you've got going on. We are the team to help you do that. So hit your girl up, mluv@ibnxradio.com, or hit me up 678-373-4269, extension 509, to leave me a message, and I will get back with you. So that's all that I've got for the announcements. I do want to mention that so much is going on this month. We've got, of course, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's the big thing, because a lot of organizations I know locally are working hard. A lot of their galas are this month. But it's also Suicide Awareness Month and Down Syndrome Awareness Month. A lot of education going on in our community. But I came across this, if you want to say, definition of what domestic violence was by one of my Instagram followers. They have it's called Divas in Defense. And they put this up, and I took note of it. It says, domestic violence is a pattern of coercive, controlling behavior that includes physical, emotional, psychological, sexual, or financial abuse. It is a pervasive, life-threatening crime that affects millions of individuals across the United States, regardless of age, economic status, race, religion, or education. So I just want you to be aware of that, all the different ways that you could be in an abusive relationship, or that you would recognize it in someone else. And there are people around you that are focusing on that, and we want to help you get resources to get help.
I think that's important. As a survivor myself, I want to emphasize that just because people don't have black eyes and broken bones doesn't mean that they're not in a domestic violence situation. And it is men and women. And it's great that we can finally speak about it, finally talk about it enough that it's become kind of numbing, and we're able to get to the next step of doing something about it. We need to do that as well about suicide prevention and about other issues as well, such as rape and other molestation. When we begin to talk about them and get them out in the open and let everyone know that you're not alone, others are going through it, and not only others but many others, then that's when we can open up the awareness and bring light on the subject and
I agree,
solution.
because I didn't speak about anything that happened to me for years because I was ashamed, first of all, and no one else was saying anything, so I wasn't going to be the one. And so there's a lot of, but people are dying.
people are dying because of that self-imposed shame.
Yes.
And so you're right, letting people know and talking about it in a controlled, in an educated way too, as well. It's not just dumping what happened to you, because you got to be aware of how that's hitting people. Because if they're sensitive, I know me, I'm taking that with me, for a little bit.
Yes, you carry a lot around with you.
I do. But I'm in the great room now. I got Ty for help. She won't let me go. You come get me in my dark places. I've got a lot of help. I'm very thankful, but not everyone is like me. So therefore, we've got to keep doing the work. People like Vanessa has to be supported. These events and these things are not just, about pretty clothes and things. We're helping people. And we're doing what we got to do until the next way appears. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, it has a lot to do with awareness, with the individual recognizing that this is what's happening to them. I had a conversation with someone yesterday, someone I love very much, and she is in one of those situations, and really didn't realize that's what it was, because she didn't have any black eyes.
Yes.
But he was abusing her here, and still is, so she's struggling via technology, he still is. So she's struggling to make that separation. So that's why I just thank you again for doing what you do, because having that awareness is key.
Yes, you're welcome. And if I could say something really quickly, when I went to South Carolina to the women's shelter, just as you're speaking, many of them, same situation that both of you are talking about, and it really hit home. And again, they didn't know that they were going through that until they removed themselves.
Right.
So
Wow.
yes.
Yep. Thank you, ladies, for those. And we're going to go right into our next segment, which is History Speaks. And right after that, we've got an intimate talk with Mr. Terry Emeka Thomas, our resident education consultant. And we're going to hear more about his journey and along the way of in arts and African American studies at large. So I'm interested in learning about Pan-Africanism and his work that he's doing.
Speak your truth. Tell your story. Why should anyone else steal your glory?
Only you can truly be you and do what it is that you are called to do.
So only you can speak your truth. Hi, this is your Team Purple on IBNX Radio Network, hosted by Love. And I'm joined each week by
Marilyn
and Rebel Queen. Together we
live life in the purple on the IBNXradio.com network.
Each week we bring you the absolute best in positive programming, from self-development topics, community commentary, black history, and indie music.
Authors sharing their journey, positive news locally and around the globe.
Literature, art, and poetry, mental health recovery too. Tune in to Live Life in the Purple with me, Love, and my team co-hosts Marilyn Pierce and Rebel Queen Ty Davis every Tuesday, 2 to 4 p.m. on the IBNXradio.com network, where we engage, empower, and entertain you. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
Greetings. This is Rodney Williams, educator, social activist. I'm one of the original members of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense out of Oakland, California. Welcome to my segment, History Speaks. In this segment of History Speaks, we celebrate and acknowledge the birth and achievements of several African Americans directly associated with this continuing story of this America. We celebrate the birth of American lawyer and first black woman elected judge to a Chicago Municipal Court. Also, the first black woman United States delegate to the United Nations, Edith Sampson, was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A leading poet and novelist of the famed Harlem Renaissance era, that cultural, social, and artistic explosion of the 1920s, Arne Bontemps was born in Alexandria, Louisiana. American jazz pianist virtuoso Art Tatum was born in Toledo, Ohio. Considered one of the greatest jazz pianists of all time, his performances were hailed for their technical proficiency and creativity, setting the standard for jazz piano virtuoso. America's First Lady of Gospel Music, singer-songwriter Shirley Ann Caesar Williams was born in Durham, North Carolina. Her recording career spans some 60-plus years. Early American ragtime and jazz pianist Ferdinand Joseph Lamotte, otherwise known as Jelly Roll Morton, was born in New Orleans. Jazz music's first arranger, he claimed to have invented jazz music. American rock and roll pioneer, legend Charles Chuck Berry was born in St. Louis, Missouri. His signature rock and roll song, Johnny Be Good, is included on NASA's Voyager Golden Record, now circulating throughout its journey throughout our galaxy neighborhood. Notable achievements as we conclude. American model and actress Beverly Johnson became the first African-American model to appear on the cover of American Vogue magazine, August 1974. One of the first. African-American inventor Henry Blair received his first United States patent for his invention, the corn seed planter. In sports, retired American track and field athlete James Ray Jim Hines became the first man to officially break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters, winning 2 gold medals at the Mexico City Olympics in 1968. The historically black college, Georgia's first educational institution, wholly owned and operated by African Americans, Morris Brown College, formally opened its doors with 107 students and 9 teachers. Retired American track and field sprinter and first person to retain Olympic title in the 100-meter, Wyomia Tyus won her Olympic gold medals in 2 consecutive Olympic Games, Tokyo 64 and Mexico City 68. Current interim president of Prairie View A&M University, Dr. Ruth Simmons became the first black woman president of an Ivy League institution when she was elected 18th president of Brown University. And America's first African-American owned insurance company, North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance, was founded by Durham, North Carolina's black social leaders. And finally, we conclude this segment by noting the passing of America's first African-American woman to graduate from Harvard Medical School and first woman to become a member of Boston Surgical Society, the past president of the National Right to Life Committee, Dr. Mildred Faye Jefferson, died in Cambridge, Mass. American jazz singer-pianist, most notable for her impeccable ability to accompany herself with incomparable independence and her ability on piano while singing. Ms. Shirley Horn died in Washington, D.C. Thank you for listening to History Speaks. We're certain that you found this information valuable. You can find me on social media at Rodney Williams on Facebook. And please keep listening each week as we bring you more facts about our history. Remember, if you don't know where you came from, you aren't going to know where you're going. This is Rodney Williams, educator and social activist. You're listening to Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. Positivity. It's a movement, baby.
Plan your next occasion with Four Marie's Catering and Events. With their team of 4 beautiful hostess, Four Marie's focuses on excellent service, delicious food, and lasting memories. Let Four Marie's make your next occasion memorable without all the stress. Before you plan your next occasion, give Four Marie's a call. No occasion is too big or too small. Use promo code IBNX10 for 10% off your first event. Call 404-474-2600 or visit 4mcatering.com today.
Thank you so much. I just love our team. I've been here dying laughing. You know, we're missing King Blacksmith behind the glass, but we got Boss Lady, so we good. We're rolling on. This is Live Life in the Purple on the IBNXradio.com network. And I don't know about you guys, but I loved history as a child. I did. I'm one of those folks that read encyclopedias for fun. and stuff like that. Yeah, so put the L on my forehead, right? But what that did was it connected the world to me really, really early. I connected a lot of, and when I went to school, I was connecting what I was reading and hearing from history books with actual biblical history. So I was connecting things. So our next guest, I need you to give some warm purple love to our resident historian, Mr. Terry Emeka Thomas. And he's a black cultural arts nationalist. He's a public speaker. He's an education consultant. And I'm taking a deep breath because there's so more about him. He's working on his doctorate in arts and humanities student at Clark at Atlanta University. He has his own radio show, Black Fire Rising. Television show, Black Fire Rising. That's on Comcast Channel 24 on 8:30 p.m. on Sundays. And I still got more to say about him, but I'm going to let him talk because he's also a musician. He's a poet. He's so well-rounded.
He's an artist,
He's an artist. He's got a lot going on. So I think we open up with a poem. It's all on you.
I was inspired listening to the bent, as we say, of the conversation. In '74, I heard a woman do a Ripple on a Pond by Nikki Giovanni. Later on, I heard David Smith, formerly of the Last Poets, and between the two of them, I sort of like began to say, well, I can do a little of that. So here's one I put together for women because my sister, my mother's, they're all passed now, but my mother has always been an inspiration, even in the cotton fields. She said, child, you got a big mind. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, but just keep on dreaming, and that's what happened. I just keep on dreaming, but this is for them. With the heart of hope and determination comes this passage of mine, that all things positive will forever flow in your life, heart, and mind. A belief in you that passes through time while permeating space, that you may progress onward to build a greater human race. Keep on using your mind with imagination, for there are two pathways to your infinite realities. You are everything you think you are, and even more. Woman, so dear, woman, so kind. We thank God within us and creation for the wisdom used while creating your line, your line, your line.
Snaps all around, snaps all around.
Right.
I hear he's got a raspy voice. I hear the smoky nightclub kind of thing. Now, y'all pray for me. I went nightclub with it because that's where my mind was, but it could be anywhere. But thank you so much for that. And you're surrounded by women, so you know to come with women. And, smart man.
Well, interesting enough, I brought this book because you may not know this woman, but she is like Atlanta's pioneer radio personality. I illustrated her book, the graduation year 1981. Her name is Charlotte Neighbors.
No, I didn't know about her.
This was when WAOK was black-owned. Mm-hmm. And she was like the CEO. And she wrote, this book is called You're Giving Who a What? She found me. I was like freelancing. And I don't know. Well, I know how she found me, but she found me because my Spellman graphics in '81 was used for their centennial. That meant everything went national, international. So I came out graduating with national graphics from Spellman, and Charlotte found me while I was trading rent for security at an old community center in Decatur on West Hill Street. So you're giving who or what? And I said, I wonder where is Charlotte when I came back to work on when I retired. So I looked her up, and she was she had deceased, but they had this 3-column the obituary, and the book was in the obituary, and this book was finished in 1981, and you know, it's now, how many years is that?
A lot.
Like 30.
So you illustrated it.
36
Yeah, right.
years.
So you've gone from artistry, poetry, writing, to what you do for Pan-Africanism. Can you please explain, if someone out there doesn't know, what do you mean with the phrase, because it's Pan-Africanism?
Well, what they need to know that Pan-Africanism really goes back to pre-Civil War, Martin Delany, and he was a doctor of Caribbean extract. A lot of these strong, powerful people were Caribbean, the ones that started the first newspaper.
Marcus Garvey.
Samuel Cornish and John Rushman, Freedmen's Journal. These were back in the days of George Washington and Ben Franklin. The first black publication were by two Caribbean stock brothers. So it was only natural that in 1900, the first Pan-African gathering of international folk, including a young Du Bois, before the Niagara movement, but this was pulled together by a lawyer out of Trinidad named Henry Sylvester Williams.
So the term applies to people that are from like Caribbean, but are now.
The term, when you think Pan-African, think diaspora.
Okay.
Just think wherever we are positive, whether it's Caribbean, England. One thing about their situation in enslavement, their masters afforded them the ability to travel to England sometimes. And I used to wonder, why are they so knowledgeable about certain things? Well, they were traveling from island to island. They were traveling from island to Europe. I mean, we were up in the landlocked United States. We weren't going nowhere but Florida.
Right.
To hang out with the Seminoles. But
so all that traveling around, they were actually
and educated. They were given better education. To us was like
British,
we see what Frederick Douglass had to go through to get to where he was, but their slave masters down there in the islands in the Caribbean basin were a little bit. I don't know how you can be a good slave master. I mean, how can you be a good monster? But
they had some advantages and some access to information, and they brought it all together for us. So your information here says, I mean, so many things you've done. You've packed. You talk about, people talk about sometimes what are we doing with our life, that dash in between. You don't have a dash.
Yeah.
You don't have a dash.
Well, every year, I was looking at the portfolio here, and I was looking at going down to Palm Beach in June, where I did my first out-of-state seminar on diversity and black history from an African origin of civilization paradigm, harkening back to Cheikh Anta Diop, the founder of the Afrocentric movement. So Pan-Africanism, you ask, what is it? You say the Berlin Conference was 1895. Henry Sylvester Williams, a gathering of intellectuals, was in response, and this is just my logical thinking, they responded to Germany, Italy, all these European powers partitioning Africa. I mean, after really hurting us with the slave trade for hundreds of years, they decided to partition it and just put people where they want them. The people. I mean, I talk to Africans sometimes. They say, "Man, some of my family is here in this country and that country, and they had nothing to do with it." So the partitioning of Africa in 1835 brought on Pan-African by Williams, and it was carried on by Du Bois, and more or less given a superstar status by Marcus Garvey.
Wow, and that he did. We're going to take a brief break and continue with Mr. Terry Emeka. As you can see, as I said, historian, years in the making of gathering all his information and then disseminating it, so that we can be more aware of who we are, where we came from, and bring the world together with knowledge. So we're going to take a brief pause for the cause and come back with more on Live Life in the Purple on IBNXradio.com network.
Hello, my Purple Nation. Live Life in the Purple is pleased to announce its new sponsor. We are now supported by Purple Door Creations. Purple Door Creations is an incubator for creatives. 5 brands under one roof. Purple Door Creations, making the world beautiful, one dream at a time. Today is a good day to believe in yourself.
Hey, this is J.R. Reynolds from Eagle Visions Productions, and you're listening to M Love on Live Life in the Purple on the IBNX Radio Network. Positivity, it's a movement, baby.
The moral of the story is, I want for my brother what I want for myself, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody living good, everybody eating good, everybody should. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good, everybody living good. For my brother, for my sun is shining, the air is clear, my folks are smiling, no need for fear. The kids are learning what they should learn. Finally, folks are earning what they should earn. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody should. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. For my brother, for my
If there's enough for one, there's enough for two. It starts with me and it starts with you. It's complicated, but it's simple too. Just like patience, sharing is a virtue. Show folks where you stand. Lend a hand when you can to your fellow man. Over plan for the day when you can't work the way you used to.
I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. For my brother, for my son. All my people, yeah. All my people. All my people, yeah. All my people, yeah. All my people, yeah. All my people. All my people. Oh, 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 oh. I want all my people around me. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody's eating good. And everybody's. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. And the children. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. And the children. Everybody eating good. For my brother, for my son.
You're listening to IBNX, IBNXradio.com.
That was All My People, and that was Kindred the Family Soul. We've been playing a lot of some of it, my favorite music, but also definitely artists that have come through the station. So you heard a little bit earlier from Dangerous Game, which was Andre Tyrone. You heard a little bit of Tasha LaRae. Find My Way, she's a local artist, sings with Arrested Development. And that one, although they've not been through the show, but I love Kindred Family Soul. So that was a little positive music for you. So that's what we do here on Live Life in the Purple. We are continuing in our conversation with Mr. Terry Emeka Thomas. He is a retired public educator and now enrolled in a doctoral program at Clark Atlanta University. He is a historian, and he has done a lot of work in public education, and then now for the masses as he helps to educate us on Black history and keeping the art of our history alive. He's also an artist, a poet, and a scholar, and an advocate for Black studies. So we continue with him. I want to talk to him really briefly. If you could tell us really something that jumped out to me about what you do. You are advocating for Black history and diversity in Georgia with House Bill 481.
In 1992, I'm a National Education Association lifetime member, retired. In 1992, at our San Francisco convention, I asked the NEA to embrace Black studies and Afrocentricism. I didn't think they would do it, but they did. In 1993, they're part of their national policy, and after that, Florida adopted the law mandate, and along with the Holocaust and other ethnicity. So, in 1993 or 94, Florida, they had the statewide law to teach Black history, and following Florida was Arkansas, Colorado, Michigan, and Illinois. Now, that's probably the best kept secret in America, that these states all have mandated statewide curricular changes.
That's it? Only those states?
Right. And so when I got back to Florida, got back to Georgia, I said, well, I can't, I was raised here. I just got to be remiss if I didn't do the best I could to make it happen. So I got with Ron Mayo in 2015. That's Whitman Mayo's nephew. He was a representative in the state. We introduced the bill then. He lost his election, so this February I met Representative Dewey McClain, and I hadn't talked to kids in a while, so Penny Poole asked me would I come talk to the kids, because I can always get to them by asking them one question: how many of y'all can draw? Half the hands go up, so that's always a go into it. So on 2018, we're going to reintroduce the Black history. That's Black history from an African origin of civilization paradigm.
Now, I'm going to pause you there because that's very interesting. The information, depending on the source, is different that you get, because I've heard reports of textbooks in Texas, some parts of Texas coming out that have taken slavery out and saying that they were indentured servants.
We have to be control of the books.
Right.
I mean, that's why I put together this 75 item book list.
I've got my homework, y'all. I've got a Black Awareness reading list. 4 pages, 75
books,
76 items on here. And I was going through, checking them off, which ones I've read, but that leaves a lot to be desired. Can I count if it's movies? Can I count it? Can I count it that I've seen?
No.
Okay, well, let me scratch that one off. Okay.
But I get
but
asked.
That's a lot of information that.
Well, I was asked in Palm Beach when I was by the Palm Beach Post, Dr. Thomas, I said, I'm not a doctor, but you know so much. Would you please give us a reading list? So that was like a one-pager. So that's what it has grown through.
Wow.
When I went to do my seminar, I dealt with it by priority. I won a national award for Black History and Culture from the ASALA group. That's the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, the one started by Carter G. Woodson in 1915, which is put together jointly by NEA, National Education Association. They both put together the award. So that was 20 years ago. So when you win a national award, and it's like you got to do an acceptance speech with 3,000 of your people, and one night we're wearing tuxedos and stuff.
Right.
It's like, kind of scary. But yeah, but it was one of those things that.
I love that you're being recognized for the work that you're doing. We've got a couple of minutes. I want to point folks towards your television show, Black Fire Rising. What do you do on the show specifically?
Dr. Josephine Bradley, my deceased head of the Black Studies Department at CAU, and I said to her, I've got this thesis, Africobra, a black arts revolutionary movement, and arts for people's sake. Well, I went to the places, Howard, and talked to the artists from Africobra. These are contemporaries of Amira Baraka, but they're visual artists. We had Nelson Stevens, we had Jeff Donaldson. Murray DePillars illustrated the book, The Destruction of Black Civilization. The audience, some of your audience know that seminal book that we all kind of gravitated towards in the 70s. The Destruction of Black Civilization, Miseducation of the Negro, and African Origin of Civilization. Those were the seminal books. Of late, Anthony Browder comes on with now valid contribution. He talks about the belief in the morality system, Ma'at. He talks about the whole belief structure that was formed out of the Nile River Valley. So on October the 27th, Friday, at 2 p.m., between 2 and 5, Representative McLean, Representative Abel Mabel Thomas, and the others who co-signed the bill, we're going to have a Black History and Diversity Forum featuring Terry Axum of Total Dance, who has an African group. She's traveled all over the globe. She's working with me. And we're going to have Latino. The idea is to have the various cultures present. And what better place to do it than at the Dome?
Right. So can I ask a question? I'd like to know, so since you said that you're having this event with Representative McLean, and how can we support the bill? This is House Bill 41. What can the community do to support it?
Well, it's not, we're gonna have to rename the bill, so it'll be a different number. Somebody asked me, well, how do you do that? When I was talking to kids in February, I said, well, tell your parents to talk to their representatives. So that is the thing. We have to become engaged. Talk to your parents and ask them to pay attention to this proposed bill and support it.
And they would support it by reaching out to their local representative.
Their local representative.
Right. Okay.
I mean, a lot of people, a lot of us don't even know who our local representative is. And I've been guilty of that too. A lot of stuff is, you learn as you go, you give, and you gain. I was telling Sister Vanessa, that's the beautiful thing about creativity. You give, you gain. There's a force inside of your heart, brain, and universe that's connected, and it's the gifts that's how you increase.
Exactly.
And I, find myself in Paris in the Louvre, and London at the British Museum, and been the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art in New York half a dozen times because I had people up there, and the cotton field picker. I wish my mom was alive to see
Wow, you've brought your travels, your, what was the phrase your mom called you? Active mind? What was that?
Just out of the big mind.
A big mind has brought you from the cotton fields of Georgia across the world. Thank you so much, Mr. Terry, for coming. I first met him at Juneteenth.
Right, Juneteenth.
Yeah, right down the street there. That was such an honor, and it is an honor to have you here. As I said, I love history, and the work that you're doing is so very important for generations to come.
You.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now that's TerryEmeka.com.
Yeah, right. Terry, EMEKA. And Thomas, also you can contact him by email, Thomas.
Well, if you go to TerryEmeka.com, it's a 5-page website with introduction page, a bio.
Does it have the book list on it?
No, you have to
Oh, you got to get the book list on it.
You have to contact me for the book list.
Gotta hit him up for it. So Terry Emeka, Thomas.com.
No, TerryEmeka.com.
TerryEmeka.com. And that Emeka, if you get stuck on that, is E-M-E-K-A.
E-M-E-K-A, that's Ibu, and that means praise God or praise the Lord.
All right. And also on Facebook as well.
They got a contact page
Right.
that leads you to my YouTube channel, which is Black Fire Rising TV, and my Facebook. I got 2 Facebooks. I have to talk about that some other time.
You, as I said, he is a font of knowledge. He's a fountain of knowledge. This we fought for this day. When I tell you, we fought for this day, and I just want to first of all give thanks to beautiful guest, ladies first, Miss Vanessa. Thank you so much, and she will be back with us in November. Mr. Thomas.
Can I ask one thing?
Certainly.
This week, Atlanta Inquirer has a full-blown, definitive story on Pan-Africanism and a celebration of Wadu, of which I'm a member. And
okay. So
you can find the Inquirer. It's David Stokes is the associate editor of the Atlanta Inquirer, and
got a great article on you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I held that up for you guys. If you can get this, you can read his article. I want to say thank you to the beautiful ladies, Rebel Queen.
Yes,
Stuffy
yes,
stuff.
y'all. Yes,
Stuffy
yes,
stuff
y'all.
today.
Yeah, no, that's not stuffy. That's just my female New York hip hop voice. That's what that is.
Play it off. Thank you,
I
Marilyn.
tried.
Thank you, Marilyn, for producing and for keeping us organized and on time. I appreciate you very much.
I'm grateful for the opportunity. We need to shout out the boss lady.
Oh, yeah.
God bless her. She's here.
In the purple.
We love
you. Doing her thing.
I got to
Look
shout out.
beautiful.
Yeah, thank y'all so
you
much
for
for this.
you know, purple is Marsh Brown's colors.
I know, and I see you representing underneath there.
Oh, yeah,
all right,
yeah,
I appreciate you very much. So y'all, this is what we do every Tuesday, 2 to 4 on IBNX. This is our turn, Live Life in the Purple, and we don't take this lightly. A lot of thought goes into this, an organization, because we want to really, really make sure you know that somebody out there cares for you, that somebody out there loves you. We love community, and so love us right back. Advertise with us, listen to our shows, support the stations. There, if you go to IBNXradio.com, you'll see an actual list of all the different stations, 24/7 music stations, different genres, as well as Talk NX, so you can get to hear other talk-only shows.
We're a whole network.
Whole network.
I just want to say one thing.
HOLE. No, WHOLE. No.
Marsh Brown Homecoming was the bomb. Okay? Saul Brennan, everybody, the alumni focus group, we did a real bang up job. And
y'all we ain't dead yet. We still got something in us.
We coming back.
All right.
Okay.
I love that.
We out of bankrupt, so we're going to do
you know, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yeah.
Fraternity Incorporated. You know, we got Tau Sigma Gamma Rho.
Yes.
Okay. I worked hard to remember that. Yes. All right, y'all. Hey, lots of love to you out there. Thank you so much for choosing positivity as your ride. And we're in your ear. Thank you for those on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, everywhere. And we appreciate you. My team is strong. We miss only one Tiffy, but he's doing his thing. These guys working hard. So we'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Different underwear. Different underwear.
I hope.
Is it in rotation? Yeah, different one is in rotation. Yeah. We do this all because why? Positivity. It's a movement, baby. And we're out.
Yourself. I know you did. Tune in next week. Same time, same station. IBNX Radio to be exact. Love. Thank you. I got you. I hope Love touched your soul and fed your mind. We live every Tuesday from 3 to 5. Led by a strong black woman, Team Purple. A long time coming. Patience is a virtue. The best show, the best guest, the best topic. IBNX Radio, the best rocket. Rock solid, a lot of knowledge. Pay homage. Live life in the purple. Taking off like a rocket. Only one tip.
Radio.